Right, Roberto Firmino, ladies and gentlemen. Roberto Firmino, as you guys know, is my favourite player at Liverpool Football Club. I've been banging the Roberto Firmino drum for a very, very long time. Rightly so, because he's a wonderful footballer. So normally when I come onto this show and talk about the club, players and the performances, it's my opinion that I share. And mostly an opinion based, as I said earlier on, my 30 years of playing and watching the sport. This time I wanted to take my Firmino tinted glasses off because, as I said, I am biased towards Bobby. I love the guy. And try and look at the situation through some cold hard facts. So now we all know that what Bobby does, and we know that some of Bobby's play can't be measured simply in goals. He brings a lot more to the team than that. He defends from the front for us, he presses, he opens up space for others with his clever runs and movement, and he does so much stuff that Jurgen Klopp relies on. But that being said, it does only form part of an overall viewpoint. So let's have a look at his goal return for the past few seasons and see how things have gone. So if we go back to the 2017-2018 season, Bobby Firmino scored a very impressive 27 goals from 54 appearances, and none of us can say that that wasn't an incredible return from our number 9, the most productive season of his career so far. So Bobby was flying. We were doing great in the Champions League. He was banging in goals for fun. There was never any questions around Bobby Firmino. We move on one season to 2018-2019, and unfortunately the slide seems to start coming in from the goal front. So we move on to that season. Bobby dropped down to 27 goals, from 27 goals, down to 16 goals in that season, even allowing for the fact that he made 6 fewer appearances from the season before. That's certainly quite a big drop off in goals. For me, I think Bobby Firmino should be chipping in somewhere between 15 and 20 goals a season. That's around where I would be happy with Bobby Firmino. I think the 27 was probably the peak of what we can expect from Bobby, but I think that season 18-19, 16 goals, it's there or thereabouts. It's on the lower side of what I would class as Bobby Firmino average. Now obviously last season, 2019-2020, we seen the club end their 30-year wait for the title, and it was a disjointed season for all kinds of reasons. It was stop-start while we didn't even know if the season was going to get to a conclusion, but it was, even allowing for the strangeness of that season, Bobby only managed to score 12 goals from 52 appearances. And that really long run of not scoring at home as well. So we've gone from 27 goals to 16 goals to 12 goals. And at what point does that lack of goals really come back to bite Bobby Firmino in the backside? Now, I've always said, and I will continue to say, that I don't like Roberto Firmino being compared to the Aubameyangs of this world, to the Harry Kanes of this world, because they're natural goal scorers. That's what they were born and bred to do. That's what they've done all their career. Bobby Firmino was a 9.5 if you want to. I don't like him being classed as a normal number 9. So that's why I said between 15 and 20 goals in all competitions for me is about par for Roberto Firmino. Last season's tally of 12, it isn't good enough. Let's be honest about it. It isn't good enough. Even allowing for the great work that he does, the pressing ability he has, the creativity, the making intelligent runs, allowing Mo Salah and Sadio to go in and score the goals that they do, we still have to be honest with ourselves here and say that there is a slight decline here in Bobby. And I was one that was critical of him against Aston Villa for wasting some chances in the first half. And it wasn't a great performance from Bobby whatsoever. So to do this segment, I promise you, is breaking my heart to come on here and talk in any way negatively about my favourite player at Liverpool Football Club. But I have to take off these Firmino tinted glasses to be able to have an open and frank conversation. Otherwise, what's the point of me coming on here and having this channel? I've always told you I'll give you my honest view on things. And I still think there's a road to redemption for Bobby, and I still think he's got a lot of credit in the bank, and rightly so. But I do want to see him starting to get on the goal scoring charts more regularly, and I'd like to see him get somewhere 17, 18 goals this season maybe. Obviously, Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane will chip in as well, Jadon, Minamino and the rest. But that's my take on the Roberto Firmino situation. And as I said, it was very difficult for me to be in any way critical of Bobby because I love him for so many reasons. I love his flamboyancy. I love his creativity. He can be frustrating at times. Yes, some of the flicks don't come off. Yes, he goes a little bit too elaborate. Sometimes he seems to have a bit of a brain fart and a simple little 5-yard pass and stuff doesn't come off occasionally. And it's difficult. I don't like criticising Bobby Firmino because I love the guy so much. But I want to know what you think. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. And again, it's a subject I don't want to go into too much because I love Firmino, and I don't like spreading any negativity around their football club. But so many people have added me on social media, and so many people have been asking me to talk about this, because there are some people who, aren't as much with the Bobby Firmino propaganda as I am. And it's only right that we listen to all sides of this conversation. So it's an open forum, folks. Give us your thoughts. John Conway, thank you for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. And I'm doing very well. Thank you, buddy. I hope you are as well. I think there's another super chat I need to get through as well from Rabadan before I move on. You featured on True Geordie today, Craig. Funny bit. I know. I've always wanted to get on the kickoff. I've always wanted to be sitting on there talking to Lawrence and True Geordie. And yeah, we did. When Connor sent me a message, Rabadan, to tell me that they'd use the clip of the 7-2 on the stream, I was so nervous, man. I was thinking, right, I've such admiration for True Geordie and Lawrence. I hope they don't rip me to shreds on this one. But I've got to say, I thought they handled it really well. I thought they were very kind. They could have gone in a lot worse on me, but it was a funny scenario, and it was nice to feature on there. And hopefully someday we'll get a little run on the kickoff. Get well soon to Ray Clements, said Dinesh as well. For those of you that don't know, Ray Clements is unwell. He's been battling an illness for a while now, and if you're on social media, please do send your love and best wishes towards Ray Clements. It was lovely to see that mural that was painted as well at the end of a house in Liverpool recently as well. So lots of love and best wishes to Ray Clements, of course. Right, now for the Bobby Firmino conversation. Mr. Sowersby said it's about the team, Craig. Yes, that's been one of my arguments, buddy, when I've defended Bobby Firmino. But as people have rightly said to me, that only lasts for so long. We need the forwards to be all chipping in with goals. And I agree, Bobby Firmino does a lot of stuff that you can't equate with goals or assists. Liverpool need Dele Alli. No, that ship has sailed, mate. We should have had Dele Alli at Liverpool, but that deal was made a mess of. Bobby will prove all the haters wrong this season, said Ultra Instinct. Now, the Firmino situation, it is an interesting one, because opposition fans for a long time have underestimated Bobby Firmino. They haven't held him in the same esteem that us Liverpool fans have, maybe because they don't see as much of him as we do, and that's fair. I mean, I probably wouldn't see as much of a lot of players around the Premier League that other fans of clubs might hold in high esteem. I might think that they're bang average until I start watching them a little bit more. Firmino's not even in the top 15 attackers in the Premier League, said Cybong92. Bobby is a link in the chain. He feeds Salah and Mane, said Michael Manning. Born Red has said Bobby's not a striker. He'll be a number 8. He'll run his ass off for 4 years. The guy needs resting. Now that is a good point as well. Bobby for a long time didn't really have anybody else that could do what Bobby does. But now we've got Diogo Jota in there, who, Pep Linders described correctly as a pressing machine. I love that phrase, pressing machine. And maybe now is a time where we'll see. We'll get to see Diogo Jota maybe come in and put a bit of pressure. Maybe give Bobby a rest. Maybe Takumi Minamino can come in and do likewise. So yeah, I also understand that point, and it is a fair one. What else have we got around Bobby Firmino? Firmino's more important than Mane. Mane's irreplaceable, but very little can replace Firmino, in my opinion. We got lucky with Minamino. No, we didn't get lucky. The club did the research and, rightly went after Takumi Minamino. I mean, there's a funny story going around about after we played Salzburg, the players were talking about Takumi Minamino on the training ground, and a few of them even urged the manager to go out there and sign him, and little did they know that Michael Edwards and Jurgen Klopp had that one in the bag already, because they knew about that £7.25 million release clause. I think United, if the story goes correctly, were willing to pay more, I think 20 million or something, because they didn't know about that release clause that Liverpool did. Mr. Sowersby said, what I mean, Craig, is that we need to stop carrying players. I hear you, man. I get what you're saying. And if you want to go out there and win the Premier League and defend it, we can't afford any baggage. You're right. And some players probably do have a little bit more goodwill in the bank than others. For an example, there was a little bit of people were going in on Mohamed Salah a bit last season, saying that he hadn't quite hit the heights and that he was having some performances that weren't right and he was greedy, yada, yada, yada. Fast forward to this season, we see Mohamed Salah come back from pre-season looking absolutely on it, looking in prime physical condition, looking like he's hungry for goals. He's the only player to come out of that Villa game with any... I won't say respect, but with any that can hold his head up high after that performance. I mean, I thought Salah was great, took his 2 goals really well. And Mane, I'm sure, will have a little dip as well at some point, but This Firmino thing, as I've said there, when I looked into the numbers, to go from the numbers he put up in 17-18, there has been a gradual decline down from 27 goals to 16 goals and then down to 12 last season. How much, how important are these lack of goals, or how unimportant are the lack of goals? How can it be measured? It's tough to say, but, Jurgen Klopp loves Bobby Firmino. And our system, Bobby Firmino gets it probably better than most other players. But at the same time, he should be chipping in with a few more. And he can't keep missing some of the chances that he has been. But again, God, it kills me to say this. I'm hating myself coming on here to talk about this, because I love Bobby Firmino. Salah brings a lot more to the team than just goals. He provides space for the rest of the team whenever he doesn't score. Look, Salah takes so many men out of the game as well. Every time Mo picks up the ball out on that right-hand side, to see 2 or 3 players on him straight away. So if Mo can release the ball then and we can move it, yes, you're right. There is space elsewhere in the field, particularly on the other side. If we can get it across for Robbo or somebody, we can generally get an overlap because so many people concentrate on Salah because he's a danger. What have we got? Somebody else said Salah deserves the Ballon d'Or. Wasn't Bobby there before Klopp came in? Yes, there is. He was. There's a theory to this. Yes, he technically came in when Brendan Rodgers was at Liverpool, but there's a theory in place, and I don't know if it's true or not, that he was almost a Klopp signing anyway, and it was more a club signing with an eye to Jurgen Klopp. I don't know the truth behind it because I wasn't involved in any of those negotiations.